Hey guys, okay, so I wanted to go over our offensive game plan. So this is something that Mark, Mike, and Pam have created for us as leaders to use with our teams every single month. So each month you're going to print one of these out in your document library on eSuite. And basically I'm just going to go through this really quickly with you. I'm going to give you a few ideas, tips, things like that for you to use in your offensive game plan. So that way you as a leader can start using this to work with your teams every single month and guarantee success. So obviously we have our steps to success, which makes us successful because as a leader you should be enrolling continuously every single month, and your goal should be to complete your steps to success every single month. But this offensive game plan is basically like a leadership guidebook. It's basically your game plan as a leader and how to be successful as a leader. So enrolling is one part of what we do, but being a leader is a huge part of the other section of what we do. And so I want to go over this with you guys because it's super important, and it's basically it's like a map for you as a leader and to guarantee your success for that stuff. So your offensive game plan on your first page is intentional focus, and I have my one that I have my notes in over here. So if I'm looking down, don't worry, I promise it's normal. So on your intentional focus page, you have to do what others won't. You have to wrap people. You have to wow people. You have to make those appointments, do those parties. You have to do it as a leader to show your team that it's important to do it. So if you're not making wrap appointments, you're not putting the wrap on people, chances are your team isn't doing it either. So just giving you that, you need to be doing it. But at the same time, on your intentional focus, you want to stick to what is fun and stick to what you're good at, okay? So obviously, not everybody is a master at partying. My sister is one of the best people at doing wrap parties, and I enjoy doing wrap parties, but I feel like she's 10 times more successful at them than I am. So I personally am 10 times better at the one-on-one interaction of having a wrap appointment. So I'll set up like 10 wrap appointments in a week, and she'll do 2 parties. We might get the same result out of both. She might get more than I do. You never know. But I'm better at wrap appointments, and I'm still getting the wrap on people. And she's better at parties, and she's getting the wrap on people. So I obviously want my team to do parties, so I still do them every now and then. But if I'm better and I have more fun doing one-on-one wrap appointments, then I'm going to be making those wrap appointments every single week and making sure that my calendar is full, my schedule is full of those wrap appointments, and having that one-on-one time with my potentials. So you can do anything, but you can't do everything, all right? So make sure you printed this out because I'm not going to hold the page the whole time. But anyway, so you can do anything, but you can't do everything. You're only one person, okay? So you cannot carry your entire team. You cannot build every single person on your team. And a big thing with building is remember that this is business, it's not personal. So if your BFF or your aunt or your cousin or whoever signed up underneath you and they don't want to work their business, it is not your job to work their business for them to be successful. It is not personal. So just so you know, a lot of people get that confused and they're like, well, I have to build her. She's my family member. You don't have to. If it doesn't benefit your team and they don't want to do it, then don't work with them, because honestly that's just going to hold you down and pull you back, and you're going to lose momentum. So if they aren't wanting to help you work with them, then it's time to say adios and leave them behind, which I hate to do that because it sounds so mean, but it's true. You don't want to be held back by your non-workers. So if they're not in a strategic spot on your chart, then you don't need to build them. Plain and simple. So where are you investing your time? 1/3 of your time should be invested in you as a leader, okay? So your efforts, your work, your messaging, your potentials, your wrap appointments, your business, okay? So how are you working your business this month? What are your efforts? How many loyal customers are you enrolling? How many distributors are you enrolling? How many messages did you send out today? Are you growing your network every single day just like you expect your team to do it? You know, things like that. So number 1, produce your own results. So like I said, you want to lead from the front. You want to do things because that's what you want your team to do. So if you want your team to enroll, you have to enroll. And don't rub it in their face when you enroll somebody. I mean, something that I do is I'll randomly place an enrollment on our contest thread because it shows that I'm working my business. Or I'll comment in a chat, all right, I just enrolled a loyal customer on whatever. Who's going to join me today? Or, I mean, however you want to let them know that you're still working. Things like that. And then number 2, what are you doing? Like, as a leader, what are you doing to invest in yourself? Where are you investing your time? So are you getting plugged in and watching periscopes from top income earners and YouTube videos from the top distributors in this business? Are you doing self-development with audiobooks or reading books? Or Success Magazine is amazing. Once you hit triple and above, Mark actually gives you a subscription to Success Magazine. So I've learned a lot from that magazine, and it's not even like a thick book. It's like a magazine you could flip through really quickly. Are you doing that stuff, though? Are you taking the time to invest in yourself as a leader and become a better leader and learn from other leaders? Because that's something that you need to do in that 1/3 of the time where you're still working and you're still putting in your own efforts, but you are also investing in yourself and doing some self-development stuff. Remember, it's all in your mind. The next third of your time, though, needs to go to your top 10. So who are you working with and how are you working with them? And we're going to go over that a little bit later on in this game plan, but just remember that 1/3 is your top 10. Okay, we'll go over that later. And then the last third is leading your team, right? So are you teaching them? Are you training them? Are you coaching them? What are you doing with your team? If you're enrolling and your team's enrolling, but you're not explaining to those new enrollments that they need 4 loyal customers in 30 days, how to go Ruby so they can actually claim that $500 bonus instead of just tell them it's an opportunity they can do. Because telling them it's something that's available is fine and dandy, and it might be a selling point to get them on your team. But if you don't teach them how to do it, then they're not going to actually get that bonus. They're going to get discouraged, or they're not going to have their 4 loyal customers that they need in their first 30 days. They're actually going to go Ruby in 60, but they won't get their bonus because they didn't have their first 4 loyals. But is that because you as a leader didn't teach them that? Or is it because they as a distributor didn't do it? It's that simple. People on your team are only going to be as successful as you let them be because you have to teach them how to do stuff. I like to think of it as when I first started in this business, I didn't know what a loyal customer was. I didn't know what a distributor was. I didn't even know it came in the kit until I got mine. Okay, so you don't know anything when you first start, and you need to remember that. So it's like someone on your team or yourself signed a brand new distributor. It's like a brand new baby, right? So this new baby is born, and what happens with babies is they start to learn, and they start to grow, and they start to develop, and you start teaching them things. When you first feed them food, they don't know to chew, but they have to learn to do it, and you as the parent are teaching them. So it's the same thing. Each one of these distributors is a little baby coming into your business that you need to help raise to be successful. Okay? So don't let your team members be blind. Okay? Don't. Teach them everything they need to know. Make sure that they understand what a loyal customer is and everything that goes into the loyal customer program, because a lot of distributors don't even know what perk points are. And those are huge for our loyal customers. I mean, that's free money for them. You need to let them know that. So don't let them be blind. Make sure that they understand things. Make sure that they're asking questions. If they're not asking you questions, go to them and ask them if they have any questions. A lot of the time, they feel like they're going to bug you with their questions, so they don't ask them. And that's where it's wrong. We don't want them to feel like they're bothering us. We want them to come to us when they have things that they need to know and things that they don't know that they need to ask about, okay? So something that Mark said that really, really, really stuck to me, and I wrote it down in here. He said, when your check stays the same, you need to check your efforts and you need to put more in. So if you don't like your paycheck, or your check hasn't gone up in a little while, or it's consistently around the same marker, then you need to go back, look at your efforts, and put more into it. Okay? So I always tell my team, you know what, double your efforts this month. If you worked your hiney off last month, then you need to work 2 heinies off this month. That's how it goes. You need to double your efforts. If you're not happy with how much you're making in this business, and if you're not satisfied because your check is not consistently going up the markers, it's because you're not putting in enough effort. So when your check stays the same, you need to check your efforts, okay? Do your steps to success. All right, so then the next page is this one, right? And they're numbered, so just so you know. Are you investing your time, or spending your time? Okay, and so this one really hit home for me because I didn't really pay attention to this in the beginning. So people always say that time is money, but do you really know how much your time is worth? And I did not know what my hourly income was until I went to this training, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's how much I make an hour? Then I'm going to work 5 more hours today because that's insane. So basically, you're going to look at your last paycheck, okay, and you're going to write it in here, whatever it was. So let's say you're a double diamond and your last paycheck was $6,035. Just a random number, right? Because that's like the average. All right, so then you're going to take 40 hours a week times 40 weeks is 160 hours based off of a normal 40-hour work week, which we all know isn't normal anymore. But anyway, so your last check divided by that 160 hours. So if you're a double diamond, your check was $6,035 divided by 160. The hourly rate that double diamond is making is $37.72. Crazy, right? How many of you guys have sat down and calculated how much you make an hour? That is what your time is worth, right? So time is money. So be intentional and focused with your time. This includes your personal activity to hit your goals and the time you invest in your team. So how many times are you guys laying in bed and you're scrolling Facebook and you're like, oh, I'm working my business? Like, that's not working your business. That's not being intentional with your time. That is wasting time. You should never be laying in bed scrolling Facebook like that. If you're being intentional with your time, you're going straight to your own page, looking at your own posts and commenting and messaging everybody who comments and likes on your stuff, okay? That is being more intentional with your time on Facebook than going through and scrolling to see what other people are doing. Another thing that you can do to be intentional on Facebook is if you don't have a massive warm market to reach out to, go to your cold market. Start building relationships with the people who are adding you on Facebook as you're growing your network because you're inviting people to be your friend every single day. And as those people accept your friend requests, are you going in and basically creeping on their page and liking some of their stuff and commenting about stuff? Are you going to go in and message them about, let's say it's November. I saw this on a Periscope and it hits home perfectly. So let's say it's November and everybody's taking their kids to these pumpkin patches and you just got this new friend on Facebook. You went and creeped on her page and liked some of her stuff, and then you saw that she was taking her kids to the pumpkin patch. What the heck, right? I have a kid. Why can't I take my kid to the pumpkin patch? So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to message her, hey Sarah, and I'm going to use her name. I just saw on Facebook that you were taking your kids to the pumpkin patch. Do you mind telling me which one you go to? Because I'm looking for a really good one to take my son to this year. So I'm messaging her, not about ItWorks, because she doesn't really know me, right? We have mutual friends and we're now friends on Facebook, but she doesn't really know me. So I want to make sure that I'm building that relationship with her. That is more intentional stuff, okay? So you want to make sure that you're doing stuff like that on your business and on your Facebook instead of scrolling mindlessly. The most valuable thing you can give someone is your time and advice. Be intentional with investing your time in team members who are building their businesses. Stop spending your time on team members who aren't. So my comment earlier about growing your sister-in-law's leg because she's your sister-in-law, but she doesn't want to work her business, so why work it for her if she doesn't want to do it? That right there is spending your time. That is not being intentional with your time and investing it. Go invest your time on Sally, who you randomly picked up at Starbucks and actually wants to do this. That's more beneficial for you. All right, so then the next page, we're on page 3. So we're going to talk about spending your time, right? So 1/3 of your time is on you. So on page 3, 1/3 of your time is on you. Where are you investing your time? So on this page, you have your goals for the month. That's why you're going to print one of these off every single month. You're going to keep it in a binder. You're going to file it in your filing cabinet at the end of the month. You're going to keep track of this so you can go back through and read them next year at this time and see what your goals were, because it's interesting to see. So what are your goals for this month? What's your current rank? Say you're a double diamond. That's your current rank. Great. So what's your goal for this month? Is it to promote to triple, or is it to maintain your double? Okay, it should never be to go down, obviously, because going down in rank means going down in paychecks, which we don't ever want to do. So do you want to maintain? Do you want to promote? And then on here also, another goal for the month is your income. So if you're that double diamond whose check was $6,035 last month, do you want your check to be $6,000 this month, or do you want it to be $7,000 or $8,000 this month? Because that's something that's totally doable. But you need to put it down here. That's your goal. Because remember, you got to claim your goals. You got to write them down, and you got to believe that they're possible. So that's your goals for the month. The next thing on this page is goals for the week. So it talks about blitzing, wrapping, and repeating. So I like this. It says blitz, and then it says where and who. Where are you going to blitz, and who are you going to blitz? And then on the next one, it says wrap, and it says where and how many. So where are you going to wrap people? How many people are you going to wrap? That's for this week. So this week, where are you going to go blitz? Are you going to go blitz at the mall? Are you going to go blitz at the park when you take your kids to play? Do you have a lunch that's set up? Are you going to blitz at the restaurant? Everywhere that you're going to blitz, you need to put that on there, right? The gas station, wherever. You go to Walmart to buy groceries, the cashier. And then who you're going to blitz, like I just said, Walmart and the cashier. So you want to put that on there. Be as detailed as possible in your goals. And then wrap, where are you going to wrap people and how many people? So if you're having a wrap party, you can put that on there. How many people are you going to get that wrap on this week, and then make it happen. Don't say you're going to put the wrap on 12 people if you don't have the intention to put the wrap on 12 people, because that's just writing BS in your notes there that you know isn't going to happen. If you're going to wrap 12 people, then you're going to go out and do it after you write it down, and that's your goal, and you're going to accomplish it. Something that I added to this page, because what I do, I am very reward motivated. I am a red. So what I put up here next to my goals for the week and my goals for the month, and I put reward and what my reward is going to be when I hit that goal. Okay, so when I finish my weekly goals and that happens, am I going to go get a manicure and a pedicure? Am I going to go get my hair done? Maybe there's a pair of sandals I want to reward myself with. What am I rewarding myself with, right? And something else I did under the weekly ones is I broke it up into the 4 weeks of the month. So I put a 1, who I was going to blitz, where I was going to blitz and who, a number 2 for week 2, who I was going to blitz and where, and so on. So that way I had the full month on my page. However you want to do it is up to you. I want one of these for the whole month for myself. So it's up to you. If you want to add an extra sheet of paper for each week under this page, you're more than welcome to. And then goals for the week, distributor signups. How many distributors are you going to sign up this week? This week. Don't put that you're going to sign 7 distributors if you don't even feel like you're going to do 2. Be intentional. Be realistic. These are your goals. This is what you're working towards, okay? And then under that, how many loyal customer signups are you going to have, right? Are you going to sign up 4 loyal customers a week? That sounds like a great goal. I love it. So the action step on this page is remember the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. Lead from the front. How intentional you are and what you do as a leader is what your team is going to see and what they're going to do. So if you as a leader have a high sense of urgency and everything has to be done right away, then your team is going to do that too, right? So set your personal goals for the month and each week. Share your goals with your team and share when you achieve them, right? Because you want your team to know that you have goals, because you want them to have goals too. And then you guys can work together to reach those goals. So what are their weekly goals? What are your weekly goals? Share them, accomplish them together, and then reward yourselves. Personal activity is the goal here, okay? So remember that people are watching you as a leader. Your team is watching you. They're looking up to you. So if you as a leader are being lazy and you're not enrolling and you're not doing anything with your business, you're not posting on Facebook, they're watching you. And what you do, they do. So that's why it's intentional to lead from the front. It's important. Also remember, on 1/3 of your time, that personal development is required. It's not recommended. It's required. You have to get your mind right, and you have to stop procrastinating, okay? So if you don't have time to sit down and read a book, then get yourself an audio book on the iBooks app or Audible and listen to it on your way to work every day. Listen to it while you're in the shower. Listen to it whenever you have 5 minutes, right? You don't have to listen to the whole book at once, but you can listen to little parts throughout the day, okay? So you have to stop procrastinating. You have to get your mind right. That's just how it works. The next one is 1/3 of your time is for your top 10. So this is what I was talking about earlier. We're going to go over. So who are you working with? Now that you know what your hourly rate is and you know what your time is worth, you want to be intentional about who you are investing your time with. Take some time and develop your list of your top 10 team members you will invest your time in this month. Who are your runners and who are your builders? This may be more than 10 people, of course, but be sure your number is manageable. So I always run with my runners, and my runners and builders normally are leaders, but what I'm doing with my personal top 10, and it's up to each person differently based off of your own team. So no offense to my top leaders, but my triple diamond leaders, they're not on my top 10 list because I already know they know what they're doing, and they themselves have their own top 10 list. Same thing, double diamond leaders should have their own top 10 lists. Diamond leaders should have their own top 10 lists. And I'm reaching out to you guys because you know what? We have some amazing emerald and ruby leaders too. You should have your own list. Maybe you don't have 10 people on your team. That's okay. You can have your top 3 list. If you're a ruby leader and you have 5 amazing distributors, then work with all 5 of them. Don't just pick one to work with. You can work with all 5. If you're an emerald leader and you don't have 10 that you can put on here, pick your top 8. You never know, right? So then make sure your number is manageable, but at the same time, as soon as you sign your first distributor, you are a leader. So if you're an executive leader, well, guess what? You're a leader. You have 2 people under you. Whether you sign them or somebody placed them under you, they're on your team. If someone placed a distributor underneath you and you haven't introduced yourself to them, then you better get on Facebook and find them and introduce yourself because they are on your team and they help you with your success. Plain and simple. So you want to look at your top 10 and you want to talk about, well, not talk about, but think about who's hungry, who wants it, who's going to work for it, right? So what I did on our team page is I put up one of the pages, it's page 6 that we're going to go over a little later. I posted that on there and I said, who wants to work one-on-one with me? Fill out this page and send it to me. Every single person that filled out that page, I printed it out and I have it. And eventually they'll be on my 10s list depending on like where they're at and who they're working with and all that good stuff. I'm putting them in there and I'm making sure that I get to all of them. Okay, but I want to make sure that my number is manageable. I don't want a top 25 list if I don't have enough time to give 1/3 of it to myself and 1/3 to that top 25. Okay, that's why there's a top 10. We want you to pick your 10 people that are hungry, your 10 people that want this, your 10 people that are working. You know what? They might be a distributor, they might be an executive, they could be a diamond. But if they're hungry and they want this, put them on your list. Okay? You can want it for them, but you can't carry them. If they aren't willing to work their business, they don't belong on your list. These are those people that you go to and say, hey, Susie, are you ready to run with me? Let's put our running shoes on and go for a jog. Let's go for a run. Are you ready to sprint? Let's do this together. Do you want to work one-on-one with me this month and work hard this month with my supervision or with my whatever you want to call it, with my help? However you want it to sound, those are the people on your top 10 list. You can want it for them, but you cannot carry them. If you're carrying members on your team, you're just dragging yourself down, you're prolonging your own success, and you're hurting your business, okay? You can only inspire these people, okay? Your top 10 list is not the people that you want to work, it's the people who actually want to work and who work, okay? So I know that sounded a little weird, but this is not the people that you're like, oh, I need her to be a Ruby for so-and-so to promote. No. These are the people that are hungry. These are the people that want it. These are the people that deserve your time. Remember, we're talking about how much your time is worth and where you're investing it. Are you going to waste $37 an hour on Susie who doesn't want to do anything? She doesn't even post on Facebook? Heck no. I'm not going to waste that much money on somebody. I'm going to go work with Sally, who's working her butt off, posting consistently and asking questions in the chat, even though she has nobody underneath her. Because you know what? With your help, Sally's more likely to go Ruby before Susie is who's boxed. Think about it. The worker is who's going to get to the top and who's going to be successful. Do you want to work with a person who's actually trying or the person who's lazy that you've already tried to build? Or who could care less about posting? Or who doesn't ask questions or never participates? I'm sorry, but that person, they're not even on my chart. I've removed them, okay? So a leader is always there for their team members. You guys know that. Every single person on our team has access to me. They can call me, text me, chat me, whatever. I never turn anybody down. I might not get to their stuff immediately, but I'll never turn them down. I'll always respond if they're on our team. So a leader is always there for their team members. However, a strong leader is intentional about who they invest their time with. Now that you've developed your top 10 list, be intentional with your time and focus. This list isn't to exclude anyone on your team, but to allow you to intentionally focus on your builders. Focus on the people who want it. All right, so the next page, we're on, it's page 5. So 1/3 of your time is your top 10. All right, page 5. How are you working with that top 10? Good question. Your top 10 list has been developed. Now it's time to commit and invest. If they are not working, get them off your list right now. If you just wrote down your 10 people right now and one of them isn't working, scratch them out. They don't belong there. Okay, so number 1, contact your top 10 and let them know you're developing your offensive game plan for the next month and selected them. I'm committing and investing my time in you. I'm committing and investing my time in you. Number 2, set up weekly. Did you hear that? Weekly pre-game calls with them every Sunday or Monday, okay? And in here it says a 30-minute pre-game call, but you have 10 people on your list, so 10 people at 30 minutes. That can be a little overwhelming on time, depending on your schedule and things. What I'm planning on doing this month, actually, I just implemented my new game plan process. What I'm doing is I created a Facebook event for the month, and I put my list of 10 in that event after I told each one of them, I'm committing and investing my time in you. I want to work with you. Do you want it? Are you hungry enough to work your business this month with me? As soon as they say yes, their name stays on my list. They go in that event. They tell me no or they don't respond, bye-bye. I'm not going to waste time on you. My time is worth money. So I'm putting them in my event. That's the first thing I'm doing. The second thing I'm doing, because there's 10 of them, and obviously they all know that there's 10 of them in my event. What I'm doing is I'm having a weekly Zoom with all of them. So all 10 of them and myself on a Zoom each week on Sunday or Monday as our pregame. And then my personal self, depending on what they filled out on page 6, I'm going to be checking in with them sometime throughout the week after our pregame Zoom, because what I want to do is make sure that they're working towards those goals and seeing where they need help at the same time. So we're going to all pregame together as a group, and then I'm going to do an individual FaceTime or phone call with each one, probably on Wednesday or Thursday, midweek at some point, to check in, see how everything's going, what are they struggling with, where can I help them type thing. I don't want to wait till the end of the week to talk to them about that stuff because it's too late to accomplish their goals. But midweek, they can still go out and bust their butt and accomplish that goal that they put down for their weekly goals. So I'm not going to waste time and wait till the end of the week. Okay? Number 3, set expectations for your call. So your call with each person, or like I said, my Zoom is going to be at the same time each week. It's either going to be every Sunday before the family call or every Monday evening. That's what I'm going to personally do with my team. It's up to you if you want to do a Zoom the same way or if you want to have individual phone calls depending on the size of your list, okay? So you want your call to be the same time and day every single week. Put it in your schedule. Set yourself an alarm. As the leader, you need to be consistent and make it happen. You cannot cancel your Zoom 5 minutes before it's supposed to happen because you want to go to dinner. What's more important? Your time, right? Are you investing in yourself correctly? Next, make sure that you stay on time, right? So you want to make sure that your Zoom is not going on for hours. Okay, your phone calls, if you have them set up to be 10, 15, 20-minute long phone calls, you're keeping it on track because you have another call right after that, and you don't want to delay your other person because each person is equally as important to your success in your business, right? So you want to make sure that you stay on time. My personal Zooms, I'm going to keep them about 20 minutes long, same time every week, same amount of time. I'm going to control them, okay? It's not going to be come hang out and let's ask a bunch of questions. It's going to be come to our meeting. I'm going to be directing it. I'll ask each one of you questions. We'll get through it in about 20 minutes. That's what I'm going to be doing, okay? So you're going to have 4 calls with each person every single month, okay? Or for instance, I'm going to have 4 Zooms and 4 calls with each person every single month. And then next, accountability. You're going to set aside 30 minutes each week for these calls. This will be a focused phone call with no interruptions and no distractions. You will be at home in your office for the call, not in your car, not at your child's practice, not cooking dinner. If your office is your car, then okay, I understand being in your car, but your radio is off, you are parked, and you are giving this person your full attention, okay? Have respect for them, and they'll have respect for you. The next thing, they will need to fill out and email the pregame sheet before each call. That's page 6 that we're going to go over next, okay? They also need to make sure that this is a focused call where they have no interruptions or distractions on their end. So they're not running around, walking through Target, running errands at the bank, whatever. They're sitting still, they're talking to you. Make sure you inform them of that because you're giving them your full attention. You deserve their full attention at the same time. And then the next thing, go time. You want to be laser focused for that phone call to discuss their pregame sheet and set their weekly offensive game plan. Okay? So you're going to sit there, you're going to discuss page 6 with them. There's 9 things on this page, and you're going to go over everything that they filled out on that page and they sent you before the phone call. Now, I understand that things happen and not everybody's going to be able to do this before their phone call. If you have a situation where that happens, do not cancel their phone call. You fill it out during the phone call. You ask them, okay, weekly recap. How many people did you blitz, wrap, and repeat this week? Who did you blitz and where did you blitz them? And you can fill it out, okay? Don't cancel a phone call with somebody because you didn't get their game plan. You could still do it. Obviously, you want the game plan to come from them because you want them to be serious about this. But if something happens, because, I mean, life can happen, don't hold it against them, okay? So you're going to discuss their pregame sheet, and you're going to make sure that you're setting up their weekly offensive game plan. So you're going to give them tasks for the week, right? So how many wrap parties are they scheduled for this week is on page 6. If they don't have a wrap party scheduled, I'm going to give them a task to schedule one for the following week. So when we go over their pregame sheet on the next phone call, they have a wrap party scheduled for that week. Okay? So the action on page 5, be intentional when planning your calls. It's recommended to keep them the same time and day every week and hold them back to back. That way you can knock all 10 of them out in one day, just be done with it, okay? This also will help you as the leader stay focused and manage your time investment better. All right, so really quickly, page 6, and we're almost through the offensive game plan, okay? So page 6 is your pregame sheet. This is a sheet that they're going to fill out every single week and send to you before their phone call, okay? I'm going to request that mine be sent to me before our Zoom. And this is what I'm going to put as a file in our event page. I'm going to make sure that they have access to it, okay? So on here, number 1 is the weekly recap. You're going over what they did the week before. And you're going over how many people they blitzed, wrapped, and repeated with, where, who, how many distributor signups, how many loyal customer signups. You're going over their wrap parties that they had scheduled. You're going over their greatest accomplishments since your last phone call. Obviously, if it's your first phone call, you didn't have one before, but you want to know what their greatest accomplishment was for the month prior. What they're most grateful for or proud of this past week. What I wanted to get done but didn't. The challenges they're facing for this coming week, the opportunities available for them this week, what they would like to discuss on the call, hence why you have them give this to you before the phone call. They might have a specific thing they want to talk to you about. And then the last thing is their goals for this week, their goals for the week ahead. How many people are they going to blitz? Where? How many people are they going to wrap? You know, how many distributor signups? How many loyal customer signups? The same goals that you wrote down for yourself, you're asking them to fill out too. Right? Lead from the front. I'm going to do the same thing you are, and we're going to do it together. How does that sound? Great. Super easy, right, guys? So page 6, that's all they're doing is filling out the same goals that you did. Oh, my God. So easy. All right, so there's one more page in this. It's page 7. All right. So 1/3 of your time is leading your team. Did you get that? 1/3 is you. 1/3 is your top 10, and 1/3 is the rest of the team. So you're working with your list of 10. You don't forget about the rest of the team. They're still there. They're still working. Maybe they didn't make your top 10 list this month, but new ones are going to be on it next month. So you're still working 1/3 of your time with the rest of your team. So you've set your offensive game plan for yourself and for your top 10. Now it's time to set the offensive game plan for the rest of your team. One team, one mission. Okay? We all work together to be successful. I can't be successful if you're not successful. Hence why I work my business every single day, and I give you all the tools that you need to be successful. Super awesome, right? Have a team meeting. We have monthly team trainings. We also have consistent information on our team page. And our team meetings are broadcasted live. So if you're not local to go to the actual meeting, then you get your booty on the page and you watch it live. We don't do them for our health. We do them for you guys to be successful. They're there for you. Okay? So as a leader, you want to make sure that you're checking in with your team, no matter if your team is one person or 20 people. Have a team meeting. Meet at Starbucks. Meet at your house. Meet somewhere. Just get together as a team. You want people to know each other's names. When you're talking in the chat, you're making relationships with these people that are on your team. But if you've never met them, hey, if you're not all local, have a team Zoom once a month. Get your team on Zoom. It's free to Zoom, guys. You can pull all your team on Zoom at one time and just have a hangout sesh and go over a few things. As a leader, you're the one who will set the pace for your team. Start the month strong with a team meeting with an intentional focus on creating their offensive game plan. So we have our monthly team training tonight, and it happens to be June 2nd, beginning of the month. So guess what? We're going to be establishing our offensive game plan tonight at training. So be sure to incorporate the following things into your existing meeting agenda. Yes, you want to make sure you have an agenda of things to go over in your meeting Zoom or meeting, your team meeting or your Starbucks meeting, whatever you want to call it. You want to have a mini agenda of things that you as the leader want to go over. And include these 3 things in it. Number 1, set your team meeting up for the first week of the month, right? There's 7 days. You can have a Zoom in one of those 7 days. You can go to Starbucks once in those 7 days. You can figure it out. Have a team meeting in that first week. 7 days. This monthly team meeting will be held on blank. What day? Okay? Make sure you tell your team far enough in advance so they can schedule it. If you want to have your meeting on the 5th, tell them on the 1st. Or tell them the week before, the last weekend or the last week of the previous month, tell them. Broadcast your team meeting via Zoom or Skype for team members who are not local. You know what? If you want to meet everybody local at your house and you guys can snack and hang out and talk about stuff on your agenda, but you want to Zoom in everybody else that's not local, you can do both. And have that physical interaction with people who are local and also incorporate the people who aren't. There's no reason why you can't do that. Keep your meeting to less than 2 hours if it's in person. Okay? And then keep your meeting to less than 1 hour if it's 100% through conference call or Zoom or Skype. You want it to be short, sweet, and to the point. It's not a full time, let's hang out and have a party. We're having a meeting. Number 2, share your own personal goals for the week and for the month with your team. Remember, we tell you to voice what your goals are. If you don't claim it, it's not really a goal, it's a dream. Voice it. A, blitz, wrap, and repeat. What's your goal for that? Who are you going to blitz and where? Who are you going to wrap and how many wraps are you going to get through that week, right? How many distributor signups are you going to have? That's letter B. And letter C, how many loyal customers are you going to sign up that week and that month, right? And then number 3, create an offensive game plan with your team. Have your team set their own personal goals. Give them time to fill this out during their team meeting. So you want them to bring their offensive game plan with them, page 6, right? Because not everybody on your team is a leader who needs the rest of this book, but you want every single person to fill out page 6. So what I'm telling you right now is, as a good leader who has their meeting in person, make copies of page 6. Just saying. So give them their page 6 when they walk in the door, and as they're getting something to drink, they can fill it out at the same time. As they're getting situated, have them fill it out, okay? The goal is to have them all leave with their personal offensive game plan filled out for the month. Their personal goals for this month, what's their rank and what's their income for that month. How much money do you want to make in June and what rank do you want to hit in June? And then their personal goals for the week, their blitz, wrap, and repeat goals, and then their distributor signups and their loyal customer signups. So your action point on page 7, start your month strong by getting everyone focused on their offensive game plan. By setting intentional focused goals, your team will know where to concentrate and what action they need to take to achieve their goals for the month. Okay, so that's your 7 pages of your offensive game plan that you guys need to make sure that you're doing every single month. Make your list, get it done. That ensures success, something that corporate gave to all of us as leaders to work through and do. They wouldn't put it out there for you if it didn't work. All right? So if you guys have questions, you know where to find me. Have a great evening. I'll see a lot of you at training tonight. If not, you'll see me broadcasting live in our team page. Bye, guys.